Welcome everyone to today's Mendocino College Career Hub Student Success Spotlight. We're really happy to have the chance to talk with Katelin Teters, a Mendocino College graduate and currently the owner-operator of Katelin's Kitchen. My name is Lauren Simmons and I work out of the Career Hub, and Katelin Lazaro is also on here, who works in the Career Hub with me as my colleague. So it's myself and the two Katelins, and we're really excited to present this. So a little bit about Katelin Teters' story. She graduated in 2018 with a certificate as well as an associate's degree in Culinary Arts Management. Katelin has since successfully started her own small culinary business. She regularly utilizes skills and experience from her time as a Mendocino College student to follow her passion and generate a fulfilling career in food preparation. Katelin, since we have you on here, is there anything you want to add? I love this graduation photo. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Of course. Back in 2018, was a really rough year for me. I decided to go back to college after I had found out that my brother Jacob had passed away, to start really learning and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I was in between 3 different career paths of photography, psychology, and then my main love now is the culinary arts field. As a kid, I grew up watching my grandparents, my stepdad or my dad Roger cooking, and I'm just like, that'd be so much fun to do, but I know it'd be hard work. So I decided to follow through with the guidance of my spouse, my family, my friends, and kind of just jumped full feet in. And I graduated early from in 2018 instead of doing the full, I think it's either 16 or 18 month course of the culinary department. I graduated within January, and I graduated in May of 2018. Wow. Yeah. So the reason why I graduated so early is because I went to culinary school up in Oregon, Oregon Coast Culinary Institute in Coos Bay. And I'm like, I have a transcript. I wonder if any of those would transfer, because I know that Oregon has specific credits that you need, and I know California has specific credits to transfer. And so I can't remember his name, but he's one of the counselors in the office. We did a petition did the transfer and then petition to graduate. And I found out on April 20th that I'd be graduating. So
that's wonderful. So the counseling department, and then I imagine the admissions and records department also played a role in making that happen, so that you were able to transfer credits and not have to repeat coursework.
The one person that helped me a lot was I think her name is Nancy at EOPS.
Yes, Nancy Heath.
Yes. I believe it's Nancy that helped me a lot with getting everything I needed, books, supplies. I had to pay for the transfer papers from Oregon. Like, it was like $10, I think. And she helped pay for that with me. And so she helped a lot. And then Fernando, who isn't a counselor anymore, he's in the psychology department, I believe.
Yes,
now.
Fernando Calderon.
Yes, I love him. He was my mom's counselor, I believe, also when she was at Mendo.
Nice. So Fernando and Nancy both attributed to your success in being able to graduate early. I'm really happy to hear that. I feel lucky to have both of them as colleagues. I'm not surprised that their names come up as people that contributed to your success. So that's a little bit about your student experience at Mendocino College. And then, just so everybody knows, we did get the chance to do a pre-presentation interview with Katelin. So that's how we prepared the PowerPoint, so that we know how we're progressing through, making sure we're covering all these really important points about the career education programs at Mendocino College, and just the staff, faculty, and overall atmosphere at Mendocino College. So Katelin just told us about 2 individuals that were really, instrumental in her experience. And then Katelin also did share that, her Her reflections are that the campus atmosphere at Mendocino College is friendly and accommodating. And then she gave those examples of instructors and staff being consistent with going above and beyond to ensure her success. Were there any other people in particular?
Yeah.
Of course, we're going to talk about Chef Petty.
Yeah, of course. I will mention him now. Chef Petty is one of my favorite teachers at Mendo. And then there's also Jamie Chakeen in the English department. I took his class back in, I believe, either 2018 or 2019 of the summer of 2018 or 2019. And he loves his job. He loves being an educator. And I could tell that. I should have said if I wouldn't have gone with culinary arts, I would have become an English teacher for younger kids, or just an English major in general, because I love to read. And I almost switched my major due to that class with Jamie Chakeen, because he made me fall he made me so excited. And we learned about the People's Temple, and we learned about different things during, not just like structures and like commas and periods and all that stuff, but we learned about like writing styles and stuff that I'm into. And so Jamie is for sure one of them. Chef Petty is definitely one. Nancy and Fernando. There was I can't remember her name because it's been a couple years, but she was at the CalWorks building. It was like the very first CalWorks person I met when I went back to the college, and I can't remember her name for the life of me.
If it was in 2018, it might have been Tanya.
Yes. Yes, Tanya. I love her. Tanya is my favorite person in the world. And then Dr. Clark, I believe her name is. She's also in the English department. I think it's Dr. Clark. I'm not sure. But
not
mostly
familiar with a Clark professor. But I don't even know everybody that works at Mendocino College, and I've been here for like 4 years. We have a wonderful staff, faculty, administration, just overall. I can confirm that working with all of these individuals as a colleague. I'm also a graduate of Mendocino College. So a lot of the people I work with now were instructors or, touched me in some way when I was a student. So I completely relate to your experience, and I'm happy to hear that our departments are all coming together and working as they should to help students.
And one more, Steve Hicksonbaugh, who is my business teacher. Yes, so I did graduate with a culinary degree or certificate degree from Mendo. But before the pandemic, I was going for 2 business degrees under Steve Hicksonbaugh. Took majority of my business classes through Steve, and he's wonderful. I have a lot of respect for him because it's not easy being a business teacher.
It's not. I have so much respect for Steve Hicksonbaugh. He's been a huge professional mentor. He's actually what led me to my current career path and why I now work at Mendocino College. So Steve Hicksonbaugh is someone super important to me, and I'm so pleased that his business influence through his instruction kind of led you on that entrepreneurial path that you walked so well and with grace. So thank you for sharing those.
Of course.
Really touching. So the general experience about, Mendocino College staff, faculty as a whole, of course, because you did graduate with that major in culinary arts, we wanted to talk a little bit about specifically that classroom experience in culinary arts. And Nicholas doesn't know I'm doing this, so I'm just gonna ask for forgiveness. Nicholas, I stole these pictures from your Facebook. Don't. Yeah. It's a great picture. How could you be upset? I love it. So in our pre-presentation interview, we talked about that you said, studying under Chef Petty is a wonderful opportunity. He's kind, understanding, always has a way of creating a fun atmosphere in his classes. Is there anything you want to add to that? I know you guys cook some amazing, intricate, beautiful things, like even fresh from our own agriculture department. Sometimes you're picking stuff. Could you share some experience from that?
Yeah, so there was two experiences that I had with Chef Petty. One was so when I was in culinary school up in Oregon, we learned how to do faux caviar, which is fake caviar of like vegetables and broths and like different things instead of actual caviar. And I got
Oh,
to relearn that again because I thought, oh, there's no way that Chef Patty's going to do this. Like, there's no need for it. But I took molecular gastronomy, I think I said that right, with
wow.
him again, or with him for some of my credits that I needed. And I was blown away because he's like, this is how you do it. This is how I remember to do it, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, he knows what I'm doing. Like, this is
Yeah,
awesome. Like, I love this. I love relearning and
yeah.
like honing my craft and what I have learned in the past, because it was like 2 years prior before I went to Mendo.
Mm,
One of my other favorite memories that I've had with Chef Petty is our final for the spring semester of 2018. We
mhm.
all got to pick our own dishes to make, and I remember making him at the time it was very basic. Now I can make elaborate dishes with like fish and steak and tri-tip and all these other meats, but at the time I just got, I think, a hanger steak from Safeway,
Mhm.
baby colored baby potatoes, and I picked some greens from the ag department to make a small
Yes.
little salad.
Yes.
And he gave me an A, I think, if I think an A, or a very high A or a very low A. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I loved doing that because it's like, oh, I get to cook for a chef that's really well known here in Ukiah and in
Yes.
Fort Bragg where he had his restaurant.
Mhm.
This is great, and so
How
I
fun.
love that memory with him.
Yeah, I love the way that he incorporates, learning and like you said, it's a fun atmosphere. He's one of my favorite colleagues to work with because he'll just
Yeah.
always is happy to make stuff work.
Hmm.
He's ingenuitive, very flexible, accommodating, and
Very
just
funny in the classroom
incredibly
too.
talented in the
That
kitchen.
too, yeah.
Incredibly talented. He's a joy to work with.
Yeah, he is.
So, in your pre-interview, we talked about some of your highlights as a Mendocino College student, included the ability to reestablish the skills associated with culinary arts, that you found that really invigorating, and that you also enjoyed learning alongside other students who were just as passionate about the field.
Yeah. I had one friend, her name was Courtney, or is Courtney. I didn't know she had joined the classes also. She wanted to do the baking side of it. I wanted to do the culinary savory side of it.
Mhm.
And when I found that out, she was like, I have someone that can help me understand half the terms and show me knife skills and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, yeah, I mean, I'm always around to help. And that's what I loved about being a student that already knew like what I was doing. Cause like I can help everyone else around me. And like, I loved it. I don't know. It was one of my favorite experiences with the other students was teaching them what I knew also,
Yeah.
but also like not overstepping Chef Petty.
Well, it's like having study buddies, but it's
Yeah.
not that it's a study buddy who's not interested in the course. It's like they're interested in it, but it's just
Hmm.
you came with some existing experience, so you were
Yeah.
able to kind of step up as that student mentor, even though you were learning alongside them.
Yeah.
You were able to take a little bit of a leadership role in the sense of,
Yeah.
of helping others. And it is really important. I like so much that you point out that it was good to work with other people just as passionate about what you were doing.
Yeah.
Because that's something that Caitlin Lazaro and I talk a lot
Hmm.
about with students in the Career Hub is you want to be passionate about what it is you're going
Hmm.
into.
Yeah.
So to be alongside students who are passionate about it, to be studying under Chef Petty, who just
Hmm.
embodies passion about the culinary
Yeah.
arts. And like you mentioned, Jamie Chakeen,
Hmm.
he loves being an English teacher, and that
He
shows
does.
in everything that he does.
Yeah.
And that's what makes an experience engaging,
Hmm.
and brings fulfillment is knowing that it's like, this is someone who's genuinely excited about this. This gets me
Hmm.
excited about it. When
Yeah.
someone's just sort of monotone and
Hmm.
reading a book to you or something, it's like whoop, zone out. So
Yeah.
I do really appreciate that you made it a point to identify the importance of being alongside others also passionate about the culinary arts,
Yeah.
because I think that that's so important.
Well, one thing that also Chef Patty and all my other chefs up in Oregon, they've always said this quote: "If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life." And I can honestly say that. Like, I love cooking for Ukiah, for the customers that I currently have, because it's like I have such this love for just food in general that I don't feel like I'm working. I feel like I'm just cooking for like extended family in Ukiah. So
you're getting to express your
awesome.
creativity in the kitchen, and you're doing what you love, and then you're getting that fulfillment of providing nourishment to those within the community. I think that that's absolutely beautiful, and that ties exactly into what Caitlin Lazaro and I do in the Career Hub is talking with students about the importance. These were your points about deciding on your career path. You said that gaining knowledge in a career field that is exciting and inspiring to you makes all the difference. And that's 1,000,000,000% true.
Yep.
And doing what you love is the key to a successful and fulfilling career. And that's something that Caitlin Lazaro and I really work with, helping students understand. So any students that are watching this, because this is being recorded, so any students that get a chance to watch this recording, please know if you don't know yet what it is you want to do, Caitlin Teters had this idea and she wasn't sure at first, and then she narrowed it down. She identified what it was she wanted to pursue. So at the time that Caitlin Teters was a student, there wasn't a career hub on campus at Mendocino College. And we're so thrilled that she was still able, with the help of, Steve Hixenbosch, Chef Petty, Jimmy Chukine, Fernando Calderon, Nancy Heath, all these other superstars on campus, helping her identify and pursue what it is she wanted to do. But now we have a whole department dedicated to helping you identify what it is that would be successful and fulfilling for you as a career. So any students watching this that are like, oh man, she knew what she wanted to do and she went for it and she's successful now, you can do that too. We can help you find what's going to be your thing that you want to pursue. And Caitlin Lazaro and I would love to meet with you, do a career assessment to help you identify some fields that you would enjoy working in, and to also provide you the tools for success pursuing that educational path that's going to lead to the end career. So just know that the Career Hub is here for you. It's great that we have students that, obviously succeeded before the Career Hub was open. We opened in 2019. So Caitlin graduated in 2018. But there is a whole department now dedicated to helping students find the success that Caitlin Teters has found.
I think that's awesome.
Thank you. We do too. So we really love this quote that you provided. And of course, we had to include some pictures of the wonderful food you prepare. So I don't know if I think the quote is best read from you, or even if you, again, want to put it in your own. I know these are your words, but if you want to.
So the quote that I sent in to both Lauren and Caitlin was, when I was a kid, I watched my Native American grandparents, my Native American grandpa, my Irish grandma, my real dad who's Hispanic and Native American also, and then my stepdad who's Italian, all cook around me, learning recipes from like greats ago from my grandma and everyone else. And I used to watch them like Monday through Sunday make these elaborate meals for not just our family, but for the community that we lived around in one of the trailer parks in Willits. And so when I was a kid, I really sat back and I'm like, if they get so much fulfillment and joy and like gratitude or gratification from doing this for other people, maybe I would want to do something like that. And so it wasn't until I was in high school that I really got to play around with different career fields. And I'll give a shout out to Deborah Hughes at South Valley High School, who is the science teacher and food science teacher. She took me and about 6 to 7 other seniors back in 2014 to Santa Rosa Junior College, and we toured the culinary program down there. We like the psych program, the ag department, a bunch of other fields that we were all interested in. And I was one of the students that's like, oh, I'm interested in like photography, psychology, English, and a bunch of other things. And the minute that I stepped into the culinary department at SRJC, something clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, I could do this. There was just this like light bulb moment, as my mom likes to call them. That's like, I think I would do great at this. And so I met with the head chef there, the head director, And they're like, yeah, you can choose your own course of study. You could choose whatever you want to do. Like it's based on what you want your program to be like. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I decided to move up to Oregon with my parents.
But because life happens.
But life happens, and
Life
I'm
happens.
grateful for the experience of living in Oregon for almost a year and then getting my degree up there also. So life worked out well for me.
It was the light bulb moment where you realized you wanted to work in culinary. And then that wasn't where you were able to start school because, like we said, life happens and you ended up in a different state. But you did take that light bulb moment with you in knowing that you wanted to enroll in culinary classes in Oregon.
Yeah.
And it was through those culinary classes in Oregon that you took that, again, like reaffirmed, this is what I want to do. I'm super passionate about this. So then when you did move back to Ukiah, and then you were back in home base and, able to enroll at Mendocino College, and then again have, all of our different departments come together to make your experience positive and to get your credits transferred over so you could graduate early. All of those things played into that. So it really, I love the fact that you talked about the reviews taking you on essentially a career exploration field trip. Because something that Katelin Lazaro and I share with students is that sometimes, even if it's something we're aware of, we won't really think about it as a career option for ourselves until it's right in front of us. And so literally, like you being there, stepping in and going, oh, I like how this feels. I could see myself in a situation, in an environment like this every day. I could see myself, chopping onions and prepping things. And putting together beautiful, nutritious dishes. And I can tie that back to my childhood experience of looking up at my positive adult role models, serving the community, and how happy I could see that making them to be of service to the community. And I think that there's something really beautiful within that. It's just the joy that we can find through being in service to others.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to tell us at all about the dish in the picture that we included?
So the dish that is a part of the slideshow is I started a new detox program, in short, and so that's more healthier than what I've currently or past made. But it's I think if I remember correctly, it's lemon garlic herb chicken or chicken thighs with a salad with tomatoes, bell peppers, or baby tomatoes or cherry tomatoes, bell peppers, avocado, corn, and a balsamic vinaigrette.
It looks absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I love color on a plate. So when you saw this picture, I was like, oh.
I think being more colorful than just being plain on a plate is everything to me. And then not to shout out Katelin, the other Katelin, but she's tried my food also. So
and so I do have to say, just because maybe not everyone's aware, we did a career education spotlight on the Culinary Arts program. And it was so great because Katelin Lazaro, she's a really good friend, mentioned within that, I actually have a friend that completed this program and, she runs her own business. And that's what brings us here today, to be able to have a student success spotlight. Because
she's the best.
she is. I love working with her. So it's actually because Katelin Lazaro shared that we're able to connect all these dots and to make this happen. So I have to shout out Katelin Lazaro.
Yeah.
Because that was incredible and made this all go into motion.
It's Steve.
Yes.
Aww.
We do want to acknowledge in our phone interview, we talked about, because I wanted to make sure, as far as when you went into actual starting your own business phase, because there's culinary arts, there's the degree, the experience that goes with that. There's a whole nother side of it as far as starting a business. So one of my first questions was, hey, have you talked with, or are you aware of West Business Development Center? Because through the Career Hub, we have employment partners throughout the district, because we want to know if a student has a dream, we want to help them achieve that. So part of our job then is to know all those proper community referrals. So West Business Development Center helps people start businesses. So when I asked Katelin, have you heard of West Business Development Center? Right away, she said, yes, they helped me. And I was thrilled. And then of course I had to be a nerd and reach out to my friends at West Business Development Center. And I had to be a little bit of a creep and ask, like, can you guys tell me who it was that helped her? Because I would love to have a quote. So Steve Lamb is the client services manager that helped you getting your business started, helping you apply for the license. And what Steve had to say about you was that Katelin is focused and not afraid of a challenge or learning something new, traits of some of our most successful clients. He also said that he's looking forward to continue working with you as you grow your business.
Yeah, he's the best.
He's awesome. And so at this point in time, Steve has helped more than 650 clients to date. So when he says that Katelin's traits are those of some of the most successful clients, like, trust me, Steve knows. He works with a lot.
He knows it, and
and he has a lot of areas of expertise, including business startups, expansions, operations, budgeting, development and pricing models, and financing. So, Katelin, is there anything that you wanted to add specifically about Steve Lamb and the West Business Development Center?
Yeah, so Steve was instrumental in helping me start up everything with like numbers and licensing and everything else in between. But Julie Siderakis, I think her last name is.
Yes.
She's the restaurant side of the West company, I believe. I think she is still. I haven't heard from her recently, but
I know she is full-time managing two restaurants, and she's quite busy, but she is a rock star in every sense of the word.
I love her dearly. She is a really good friend and a really good business associate, teacher, friend.
Everything.
She's helped me out.
She's
a
Wonder
lot.
Woman.
Everything. She is Wonder Woman. She helped me out a lot with honing down what I like if I were to still do the brick and mortar store that I wanted to do instead of the catering business that I have now. She was like, you want your menu to be compact, sweet, and to the point. Like she is the one person that I can honestly say shaped my business to what it is now. And I love her dearly for that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then we just wanted to let any students know that are watching this that are thinking like, oh, I would like to own my own business. That sounds fun. We want you to know that West Business Development Center can definitely help you with that. They can also help you improve an already established business. If you have already started a business and it's not going as well as you had hoped, or you think that there's ways that it can be improved, reach out to West Business Development Center. They'll be able to help. If you would like to buy or sell an established business, they can also help you with that. So we have their contact information. You can reach them via phone, or their website actually has a lot of information. They also host a lot of workshops that are complementary to the work that we do within the Career Hub. And that's why they're one of our most valued employment partners in the district. So thank you, West Business Development Center, for all that you do in the community, for being contributing to Katelin Teters' success, and just for being awesome in the work that they're doing. So you gave us some insight as to, for you, when it came to starting a business, that knowing your craft, knowing your customer base, and having a thorough understanding of the career market are key elements to starting your own business and maintaining success. Is there anything that you want to add to that? I feel like that's just such a beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's short and sweet and to the point, but starting a business is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not easy. It is not easy one bit. It is not. Like, you have to know for sure 100% that this is something that you want to do for the rest of your life, because it's a long lifetime commitment. And it's not a hobby. It's how I make money. Sometimes it's how I feed my family. It's how I take care of what I need to take care of with my business. And just starting a business is hard. Just licensing, permits. If you wanted to do a brick and mortar store, an actual physical restaurant, that is tough, and that is time consuming and a lot of money. I thankfully am now switching from that to catering slash food truck service stuff.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm more leaning towards, because I want to be able to travel.
I
So
like
knowing,
that.
yeah. So also knowing your demographic and knowing what's in your town, city, or what is most popular in you. Like for Ukiah, for instance, it's pizza restaurants are really outnumbering a lot of different restaurants. And so
Mhm.
I did not want to do a pizza restaurant, clearly. I wanted to do more of a home style family, like get together kind of restaurant.
Mhm. I
So
like it.
yeah, just knowing that's one thing that the West Company will ask you too. They're like, what's your demographic? What is popular here in Ukiah? Who is your top competitor? Who
Mm.
is your lowest competitor? And I'm like, I didn't even think of asking myself that. And so Steve really was like, this is what you need to know so
Mhm.
that you can be successful. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I did
And
it. And he was,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, and I was just gonna say, and that speaks to the value of having,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
professional help. Um,
Yeah.
that is exactly to do that, to help you start your business on the right foot. Because I
Yeah.
think, anyone could sign the papers to apply for a business license, but if they don't have the
Mm-hmm.
tools and that,
Mm-hmm.
Steve Lamb being essentially your, business mentor, and then Julia Siderakis helping you with the restaurant side of it,
Yeah.
having those people to help you all along the way that bring years and years of related experience so that you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to learn the hard way. You're
Yeah.
doing it with the best help available to you.
The best of the best, as I call them, like
Yeah.
the
And that's
best
why
of
it's
the
so
best, because
important.
they know what they're doing.
They do. They really do. They're excellent at what they do. And that's the importance of knowing the resources available. So I'm really happy that West Business Development Center helped you out, and that you didn't have to like learn the hard way, like I said,
Yeah.
because you had the mentors there with you right along the way.
Yeah. Oh, it's my Baba.
Yes, it's your
Sorry.
son.
That's my boy.
So we have talked a little bit about the rewards as far as fulfillment, but I did want you to have a chance to speak a little bit about the rewards that you experience as a business owner, entrepreneur, culinary arts superstar.
Yeah. So in the slideshow, since everyone's watching this also, when I was there in 2018 at the college also, with the two photos that you guys see, is the one that's in my hand right here is of the Cal Works pamphlet. Tanya, I believe at the time, if she was still there, I came to her as soon as I found out, crying and running around, and I'm like, Tanya, I'm graduating like 14 to 15 months early from this culinary program. She goes, that's fantastic. I'm so proud of you. Not even a day later, I get a call from her at my work, and she goes, hey, if you have a photo of Austin holding a sign up saying my mommy's graduating and the day of graduation, we want to feature it on the Cal Works pamphlet. And I'm like, why? Like I asked why, because I'm like, why? Like, I don't have a photo of Austin holding that sign yet. I said, yeah. She goes, I want you to take that photo, have him write it. Don't write it for him.
Yeah.
Send me a JPEG, and we want to use it for the pamphlet. And I'm like, all right. And so that's the photo that we took right outside of our apartment
And it
and
is so
whatnot.
cute.
It's one of my favorite photos.
Me too.
And then also fast forward the graduation, he's holding the name booklet that you get at the graduation with my name, and he had told my mom and whatnot. And I'm not gonna try and cry, but I
I
was
don't want to make
sitting
you
in
cry.
the seats. I was sitting in the seats right next to my friend Nancy, who's in one of the other slideshows with one of the photos in the slideshow. He turns to my mom and goes, I'm so proud of my mom. I'm really proud of her. And I'm like, okay, cool. This is awesome. Thanks, dude.
I'm not gonna cry.
And so I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry right now. But the rewards of not just those two things is even still being at the college after I graduated with my culinary arts degree, I got two scholarships. I got one for it's not the Finish Line Scholarship, but it's one, I think, for one of the culinary departments, and then another one for student success, I think. Being recognized in the big one for me after starting my business last July is being recognized in the community of Ukiah and even Willits when I've gone up there before, because I have in one of the photos, I'm wearing my business hoodie and it says Katelin's Kitchen Ukiah on the front of it. And like, I'll go to Safeway or I'll go to the park with my son and they're like, hey, you're the caterer in town. I'm like, I'm one of them. They're like, no, we've heard a lot about you on Facebook, Instagram, word of mouth. And I'm like, no, you haven't. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm just this one person, one show caterer. Like, I do this all by myself without, well, besides my spouse's help. And they're like, no, we've heard great things about you. Like, we look forward to seeing what you do. And I'm like, well, here's my business card. And I have a stack of business cards on me at all times if someone recognizes me.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So to be recognized for the good work that you're doing. And I mean, I always think that the biggest indicator of success in a business is when you're getting word of mouth referrals, because people talk about what they really enjoy.
And that's, well, that's what helped my and that's what helped my business a lot last year, because in the beginning in July up until December, I was booked and busy with not catering per se, because I was mostly making like ice creams and small baked desserts and doing dinner plates, as I call them anyways, here and there. But it wasn't until January of 2021 that everyone's like, you need to do catering. Like, I have a baby shower, I have a wedding, I have a family function. And I'm like, I mean, but I'm a one-person shop unless I hire my spouse and my kid and like my best friends to be like, hey, come help me. And that's and I want to give a shout out also to my oldest brother. He started his own business because of me. And so you're inspiring people, you're not just a positive role model for your son. You're also being a role model for other people in your life that are seeing your success as an entrepreneur. People seeing like it's not easy, but because you're passionate about what you're doing and because what you're doing provides fulfillment, it keeps your tank full, so to say, as far as that's what gives you the sustained energy to do it and to get through those challenges that every business faces and are unique to the particular industry. But I think being recognized within the community, that must feel great. And I'm so happy that you're getting that positive recognition. I'm happy that you have people like Caitlin Lazaro, that recognize you and go, oh yeah, I know someone that did this and is successful now, because that's the biggest thing, is that it is an accomplishment. And that's why we're featuring you as a student success story. Thank you.
And these pictures of Austin, they kill me. They're so cute.
Yeah. Now he's like 2 feet taller and has more missing teeth.
It's crazy how kids grow like that.
I know.
We did want to talk a little bit about, you are an Indigenous owned business, and the importance of shopping small and local. And of course we had to include your business cards, just that people can see how beautiful and professional they are. And these are what you got to keep the stack on you at all times.
Well, my brother Casey is actually the one that has, and I'll give him his due diligence and his credit, because he really was like, hey, if you need a menu, you need a logo, you need anything, let me know. And I'm like, I'm gonna pay you for your time. And so we worked out this business partnership where he's made all of my business cards. He's made all of my menus. He's made all of my signage for my Facebook page and on my Instagram. He's the one that the logo, the Katelin's Kitchen Ukiah with the little sunflower, that's his, that's what he made for me. And so give him his shout out.
Is this the brother that started his own business?
No, this is another brother. My brother AJ is the one that started his barbecue business. It's called Two Brothers Barbecue and whatnot. He started about 4.5-5 months ago, I think. And we've done one catering event so far together.
I was gonna say, there's got to be some family collaboration there, right?
Of course. We'll be doing more. hopefully
Yeah.
around December, Halloween and whatnot. So
Yeah, that's great. And
yeah.
it sounds like, this brother that's preparing all the print ad for you. I mean, there is a career field in digital print,
Hmm. Yeah,
marketing, media. It sounds like he's got it all going. If he wants to make a business out of that, he very well could.
well, he graduated last year or this year technically from Mindo with a music degree or
Oh,
music and
okay.
business degree, I believe. So he
Mhm.
just does this for me on the side for extra money.
Well, he could also
So
do it for other people. I
yeah,
know that there's
yeah.
lots of other people starting businesses within the
Hmm.
community that
That
need this
need
type of help.
signage.
And
Yeah.
and he has the skill set.
Hmm.
I'm happy to hear that he's also a graduate of Mendocino College.
Yeah.
That's a super sweet bonus I wasn't aware of. Of course, we had to ask about some advice that you would like to give to students that are either currently in the culinary arts program or students watching this that are maybe now interested in culinary arts.
Um, so my advice is really take your time. And I mean, I went back and forth, like rushing it to wanting to get done for the day or really taking my time. But I always say take your time learning stuff in the culinary field because I learn really hands-on and not in a textbook. I like want to hold the chef knife. I want to hold like what a piece of fruit looks like and see and dissect it and whatnot. So
Mhm.
take your time learning your knife skills. Take your time learning your temperatures of your meat. Take your time learning um like what you need to know to be successful in a restaurant, catering, food truck, and whatnot. But also have fun. Like
Mhm.
you can't be serious all the time. I mean, you have to sometimes, but don't be serious all the time because it takes the fun out of it.
Yes.
Like
And
if
having an
you ask Chef
instructor like
Petty,
Chef
Chef
Petty,
Petty, if you
he'll
ask
make
Chef
it fun.
Petty, yeah. Well, if you ask Chef Petty, he could tell you that I was the jokester, but I also did what I needed to do. I was
Yeah, because
very
there's a time
joking.
to, yeah,
There's a time and place to have fun, but there's also a time and place to learn.
and there's a time and place that you can do both.
Yeah, exactly.
I also really liked your advice about the importance of believing in your own ability to succeed.
Hmm. Yeah. So if the only person that I've always counted on to believe in me is me, like other people support me and believe in me and want me to succeed, like Caitlin Lazaro, the people
Mhm.
that I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, they believed in me, but I had to believe in myself to succeed, if that makes sense. Like I had to believe that I could do this, I can get this done, I can graduate, I can believe in my ability to succeed also.
Mhm.
So
And then, of course, any students that are interested that
mhm.
if they have questions, they should just go ahead and ask Chef Petty because
Mhm.
he's always more than happy to help and he wants to contribute to culinary success.
Yeah.
And something that I really liked that Chef Petty talked about when we did our culinary arts program spotlight was
Mhm.
that even if you're a student watching this isn't interested in majoring in culinary arts, that they're
Mhm.
a great elective class to take
Yes, they
because
are.
everyone should know some level of how to prepare food for themselves. And like
Yeah.
Caitlin was talking about some of those classes she took, like, the faux escargot, stuff like that,
Mhm.
that there's really interesting, unique classes. There's baking, there's like a chocolatier class.
Mhm.
So just
Molecular gastronomy is
molecular
my personally
gastronomy. Yeah.
is personally my favorite one. I'm not a baker. I can't bake to save my life. So I opted out of taking baking as one of my elective, but molecular gastronomy was one of my favorite classes
Oh,
because
nice.
everything looked so pretty.
Yeah.
Like
And
it
so
didn't
that's
look like
just,
it was edible. Like it
it's
just looked
fun,
pretty.
pretty. It's like make food is art and art is food
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's all fun and you're doing it all under the wing of Chef Petty.
Yeah.
So that's Caitlin's advice for students in or interested in culinary arts.
Mhm.
And then, of course, we need people to know how they can reach you. We're talking
Yes.
about all the wonderful stuff you're doing.
Hmm.
So you can place orders from Instagram or Facebook. At the end of the slide, we do have her contact information with her Instagram and Facebook handles. And then also, is it your preferred way for people to reach out directly to this phone number?
That's my personal cell phone number. I also have an email address. It's all lowercase, Katelin's Kitchen, Ukiah @gmail. That's, you can reach me there as well. But Facebook is my main way of getting a hold of people, or people getting a hold of me.
For people to get orders. So basically she's reachable, and we're going to show some of her menu items. And then Katelin, you also do some like made to order, like some of the dishes you prepared, like the cleanse or detox one that you did with the chicken and the beautiful colorful salad. People can place sort of custom orders in addition to the menus that we're going to share.
So majority of the stuff that we're about to see on the next slide is stuff that I've either made for my family or meal prepped for people. This is my ice cream order from this last summer that we've done, or that I did with my friend Jessica, who also runs a business in Ukiah as well. Shout out to Fudge Fudge Baby as well. That's her business. We did ice cream all last summer, ice cream sandwiches and whatnot. So all of the other food, like the savory stuff, can be placed the night before for like lunch or dinner. This is our newest menu, which is a curbside kids lunch.
Which I think is so cool that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I started posting as soon as my son Austin went back to school, his lunches, because I grew up and I always ate school lunch, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted something that my son could be like, hey, my mom made this, to give me extra like exposure, I guess. And so
it's clever marketing.
It is. I mean, why not? And so my Casey again made this menu for me, and it kind of just took off because everyone's like, you make some of the best lunches for your son. Like, we want to help you with that, buy food, supplies, whatever you need for you to do other catering stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so that's what I'm mostly doing right now. Besides, every other 2 weeks I'm doing some dinner plates, for people. So
nice.
That's one of my favorite menus that Casey also made.
Curbside kids lunch. I just love these. And we do have some photos from your Instagram so people can just kind of see like the general idea. And I love how you played it and you make it fun and exciting and colorful, because young children, like, they eat with their eyes, and they like the small bites and the way that you prepare everything. There's a lot of thought and intention behind it. And it's awesome to see the meals that you're putting together. And I love the options available too, that people can kind of like pick and choose what it is they want. So these are some photos from Katelin's Instagram showing, here's some of those curbside kids lunches, some sushi she made, some savory dishes, dinner type things. We want you all to be able to find her on Instagram. So that's her Instagram handle right here, Katelin's Kitchen Ukiah. And then on Facebook, it is Katelin Kitchen. So you can search for those, give her a follow and a like, and see the wonderful things she's preparing. And, if you're feeling up to it, place an order, and then you can taste some of this deliciousness.
Awesome.
We also did want to include the contact information for the Culinary Arts program. So the director of that is Chef Nicholas Petty. We have his email address up, their website, their Facebook page, and their Instagram. And here's just some photos that our Culinary Arts students have prepared. And like Katelin said, that's just a small sample of the things that happen within that wonderful Culinary Arts classroom. So, whoops, there goes the presentation. I'm gonna do stop share. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Katelin, for being willing to share your story. We're so happy to have success stories like this to be able to share. And it really means a lot to the entire Mendocino College team to see our students succeeding this way after they've left the college.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate those shout outs that you gave for everybody. I'm going to make sure that they all know that
Please
they got
do.
that recognition. Yeah. Katelin and Zaro, did you want to add anything? This was all because you mentioned this.
Because of you.
Because of you, we're here and we have this wonderful story to share.
Well, I just want to say that I've had maybe, I think, 4 different flavors of Caitlin's ice cream, and absolutely incredible. By far the best ice cream I've ever had.
Oh, thank you.
Sure, my favorite dinner dish of hers that I've had is probably the tri-tip dish. And after going through the slide, I said this last time while we were making it to Lauren too. I really want to try those wraps. Oh my God, they look amazing.
The wraps look so good. I know.
Thank you. That's one of my favorite things that I've made recently. Like, they're so good. They're so good.
Absolutely mouth-watering, and I cannot wait to try them. And the other thing I was going to say is you can probably expect another hefty catering order coming up in December.
Yes, I'm so excited.
So yeah, it's great to have been able to have you featured on here, and I'm just really happy we were able to put this together.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.